Okay, we know that our oil is just hanging out in the front right now, but you can tell it's actually very low now. It's very empty since we actually opened up the crank ventilation of the valve cover. And this is pretty much what it is. It wasn't able to breathe before because it just kind of stuck here where all the fumes and the gasoline was, which is actually okay, but we definitely want it to be able to breathe even further. Because again, this one doesn't need too much of ventilation because it has the fuel holes in the cap where it allows it to suck air in, so it doesn't create a vacuum inside where it doesn't allow fuel to release. But however, the crankcase valve is one that's concerned. So what we're going to do right now is actually going to go ahead and crank the engine over. We're going to actually start. We just installed this fresh battery after it's been charged for about an hour now, and we haven't played around with the lights yet, even though I'm still trying to figure out why the running lights on the GY one did not turn on like it used to be, and it only made this one had the running light only. I wanted to actually have this one also indicates the red running light for safety, but when it signals, it also shows the blinker. So here we go. Maybe it's different, maybe we're act different. When we also change out the bulbs, just want to let you know, we changed it to the white bulbs. So we're going to try to crank the engine over first before we do anything else. And we just want to make, I just want to make it clear here, I actually opened the valves up so the oil can actually flow back into the engine area and not try to force itself out. So that was the air compression. You can see how good of a seal the GY6 is. So here we go. We got the keys. We're about to go ahead and fire it up for the first time. I'm leaving this open so I can actually analyze and troubleshoot. See how I tied my terminal. I eventually will wrap this around. This curves in here, protects the terminal a little bit, and then I can put my covers right there. So gas is good. We're going to keep an eye on the gauge here. Again, only about 12 volts plus will allow you to crank the engine over. Anything below that, I mean, you can crank all day long. You hear a tap, tap, tap noise. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put our keys in, but before we do that, let's go and turn on our fuel. You can see our fuel is already full in anyway. We don't have to worry about it. We'll just leave it on. Okay, I want to make sure everything is there. Everything's screwed in. Ground it. The starter. Dielectric greases, everything's in there in place. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and crank it. Okay, you're gonna go ahead and keep an eye out on this right here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the kill switch, press on the brake lever, and we're gonna focus on the battery. Where is that right now? See where the battery is? It's still below 12, so we're gonna do our best we can here. 1, 2, 3. See that? Oh boy. See the battery? It's almost... Everything's turned off. Horn works perfect. Ooh, loud. Okay, we're gonna go back on the kill switch, turn it back on. Here we go. It looks like it's still cycling through the carburetor. It could be a lot of other things going to play. Looks like it's starting. So we're focused on trying to get the engine to turn over. Okay. Another thing is also I want to make note is possibly we could have a little bit of a vacuum leak because I did join that cable over there to the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cap this one off and leave this open as well. Because this one normally is like an open to the very flows to the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off as well and put a cap on here. So let's see if I can find a cap right now. Let me turn off the engine. Oh, by the way, let me, before I do that, show you the lights. See, look how beautiful the white lights are. Nice and bright, aren't they? And we put a little silicone on there because it wouldn't go all the way in there. I think the next time when we do take out the front panel, I'm going to go ahead and kind of take a little Dremel and kind of make a little wider hole inside where the metals are. That way I can poke the whole LED right through. But it still shows pretty bright from very little that's on there. You can see there, it can go in a little bit more deeper in. So it gets a little bit of the back. But the way I actually tied this, I want to share with you. See, that's it. I actually didn't tap the wires here. What I did was I took it from the harness area. And this one's a really nice one done. I didn't use the blue one. I just kept it on there. The blue one's like a pulse wire that allows it to trigger. But it already has a flashing relay right there. So I just tapped into the same relay from the wire harness, which I just tied in pretty much the positive and the negative wires. And it worked beautifully. So this is for the right. You can see how it's tapped in there nicely. Wrapped around here, curved, wrapped around our front brake disc line, and goes back into our signal turn. The same thing with this one right here. You can see here, we did the same thing here, but I didn't get a chance to actually do the one that, see, without it, this is the one, what happens, I didn't actually get a chance to put the heat shrink in there, but I did put a heat shrink on both the wires separately. Like I did that one, but I also put one big one on the other side where it covers the whole thing, including the blue one, so it makes it look nicer. But you can see how I tapped it, and there it goes. See, I didn't tap it right here, I kind of tapped it over here, which kind of makes a nice loop. And then we're about to almost cut this off. We'll wait for another day to see how it gets hardened. So silicon's almost actually hardened already. See, when it's hardened like that, it's not going to wobble anymore. And then we also got our distributor to give us another cable, because there's no way of really repairing this unless you take it to like a brake repair cable. It costs more probably to do that than just get a replacement. These are pretty expensive cables. You can get them around, maybe if you're lucky, around maybe 50 bucks for the 240 centimeter one. 50 to 60 bucks. So yeah, they're a little expensive. So that's it. We're gonna go ahead and troubleshoot why it's still not cranking over with our battery set in place. So let's go ahead and hit the kill switch. Oh wow, almost there. Almost there. We hear a little bit burst. Remind me, I get too excited. I keep forgetting to take this off the exhaust. So everything's working good. You can see here the running light stays on. It's daylight, but you can still see it. It's pretty bright. And then when I hit the brakes, you'll see it further on. Let's go and check out the switches again. See, the blinker works there. Really like this the most. That's badass. Okay, and then we go for the right switch. See, there we go. That's badass. And the funny thing is though, if you can see this one, if I hold down the brake lever right here, then you can see the Gibby one actually starts to work. Do you see that? Unfortunately, it only works when I hold down the brake lever, so I must have a line crossed over that I'm not aware of. The same thing on the right hand side. It's gonna go upside down a little bit, but you can see it. See that? It only works when I hold down the press of the brake lever right here. Anyway, we're gonna try to keep on starting it. Hold down the brake lever. Yeah. Looked like it's almost about to turn over. Then something chokes it. Okay. So I said we're going to keep on troubleshooting. Again, I'm going to try to remove this hose right here and see if I can seal the vacuum hose here. Prevent it from going any further. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little clamp and remove this hose and put a little tubing here. I think we have one. Oh, let me go and turn off the signal. Turn off the kill switch. Okay. Pliers right there. But we're still looking for that little nozzle there. We can actually... Can't wait to put the license plate on there and start riding. There we go. Several different types of boot. Wouldn't use a small one right here. All right, let's go and get something to open it. Okay, we're gonna go and try to get the little boot. Just a little one right here. We could probably even use a tie strap if needed to, or we can clamp it. We have a clamp here, several different sizes. Probably this one. Probably gonna take a little small one. But again, these are just, we're gonna put on temporarily to troubleshoot the carburetor line setup. We're rearranging a few things around. So let's just use this big one right here. Be enough to clamp it temporarily. Okay. So we got our plier here. We're gonna go and start pulling this right here. All right, we got that pulled out. Okay. Then we're gonna go ahead and cap this off. Okay. Actually, we can just use this one, I think. Oh, this one's stuck on there really well. So what I'll do is I'll just go and use this again. It's gonna be a little harder here. be like a little finger here. Okay, there we go. Gotta get in there as much as I can. It's not going to the press area. There we go. It creates a little bit, but not much. I could probably do it better with just a tie strap. But it creates a little bit of vacuum seal there. Okay, let's go and crank it over again. And let's see what's holding it back. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, so still not doing it. Okay, we're gonna figure out what else could be holding it back. So we look at exhaust, flow of the oil, the CDI, the air filter, the carburetor. Everything should be there. It just dies out too much. So it might be, we'll look into adjusting something. See, this is great. You can have access right here back, and you can actually almost adjust this by hand. This is just your pretty much your throttle. So this one won't have too much of a problem here. Your auto choke is okay. I can think of getting that flathead screwdriver there and just adjusting that a little bit. But I don't want to do that just yet until I know for certain it's just that that's holding it back and not anything else. So I want to keep everything original. Let's go ahead and fire it up again. Okay. All right, so that's it for right now. I'm going to go and troubleshoot some further.